Hello. Snakes.
This video is part of a new series I'm doing where I break down specific rock climbs for you. Talk about all aspects of the climb, from the approach, the cruxes, the different styles of climbing, how to protect them, and at the very end, either recommend the climb or not. Today, I'm taking you through a 3-pitch Sedona climb called Nirvana.
Holy crap.
For this one, we park at Point & Canyon Trailhead and start making our way towards the Enchantment Resort. You can find GPS routes on Mountain Project. Eventually, you're going to hit a point where you turn off and start heading up the mountain. If you have any feedback about this style of video, whether it's positive or critical, I'd love to hear about it in the comments because I'm always trying to improve. Once you get over to Nirvana Buttress, you actually scramble up the gully behind it and then head up to a ledge. In order to get to the start of pitch 1, you have to traverse across an exposed ledge and actually crawl through a tunnel.
Hello. Hello, snakes. Or tarantulas. I don't think I have claustrophobia, but this is a little spooky. It's like a ramp that just slides you off the cliff. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Finally, at the base of pitch 1, it was pretty wild how close to the resort we actually were because we could even hear the tennis balls being hit from the tennis courts. Kind of a funny vibe for a multi-pitch, but you forget about it pretty quick once you start climbing. Pitch 1 is 80 feet of layback crack climbing up to a chain anchor. This layback was really just kind of a game of friction for me. It was all about getting a solid foot jam with my left foot, then trying to find some sort of irregularity or semi-foothold to put my right foot on, and then pulling just hard enough with my hands so that my right foot doesn't slip off while I'm bumping my left foot up to the next foot jam. And it's really just that, rinse and repeat. It really helps to not burn out the back muscles if you're kind of playing that friction game. Pitch isn't too bad. There's actually some pretty comfy ledges every 6 to 8 feet, with the crux being found up near the top where it gets more vertical. Recommended rack is a single rack up to an optional number 5. I would say this is a good recommendation if you're super comfortable at Sedona 5.9 crack climbing. If you're a little bit hesitant or unsure, I would try to bring the number 5. You could even use a second number 4 if you wanted. Alright, so this next 10 to 12 feet is what I would consider the crux of pitch 1. It is more vertical here, it's slightly wider, and there's a lot less features on the right for your right foot. And so it's a bit more effort in the layback. Placing gear takes a little bit more effort as well. But where it widens out here, where my left hand is, you can actually get a high right foot and kind of twist your right knee into the crack there just to take a little rest if needed. At this point, I was able to get my left foot on a feature on the left face here. That kind of allowed me to reset my right foot up higher and then pull one more layback, get a good left foot jam in, and then you're almost at the top. I opted to drop a 0.75 in here, but you could really make almost any piece work. I think a number 3, a number 4, a lot of different sizes would work in this part here. You can get a nice hand jam in here and then pull up to the final ledge before you make a slab traverse to the anchor.
Come on.
Pitch 2 is a 5/8 slab pitch. There are 6 bolts on this pitch. There's not a whole lot to say about the first half of the pitch. The spice really comes in the second half, so I'm just going to fast forward through this at 4x speed with a rear angle so you can get some views of Sedona. At bolt 5 on pitch 2, getting into the mental followed by the physical crux of the pitch. I just wanted to call out this hollow sounding hunk of rock next to bolt 5. There didn't appear to be any way to avoid it, so just don't put a cam behind it and don't pull out, only pull down as much as possible. Once you're up here, you're not quite out of the woods. You have to reach a bolt that's pretty far out to the right. There's no feet on that face, and it's kind of bad crimp hands. I was able to reach out and get the clip, but I have super long arms. If you're worried about this, just bring a panic draw. That's pitch 2. The anchor is up and to the left. Pitch 3 is a 3-bolt 5/9. The crux is listed as a height-dependent bulge. I'll go ahead and fast forward to it right now.
Definitely left. I think this is the crux.
This hold that I'm grabbing now with my left hand is where I want my left foot eventually to end up. This is the crux bulge. So I'm kind of just getting in position, getting ready to mantle it, and also just exploring the holds. But there is a little crimp rail right there that I just found. And my strategy eventually is just to get both of my hands to match on it as far to the right of the crimp rail as possible so that I have a lot of room to get my left foot up. And then I end up smearing my right foot as high as I can and then just kind of pulling and pushing at the same time and getting a really high left foot up on that crimp. After topping out, we made the final scramble to the summit. It's probably an extra 200 to 300 feet of elevation gain. Took maybe 12 to 15 minutes just finding a way up all the way, but incredible views at the top. I would highly recommend going up there. That's where we topped out. You can see the resort behind the buttress we climbed. With the 60-meter rope, it's 4 rappels to get to the ground, wrap each pitch, and then you can wrap off the juniper tree at the end to skip the tunnel. If you have a 70-meter rope, you can skip the top short rappel of pitch 3 and link the pitch 2 and pitch 3 rappels. If you're going to use a 60-meter to wrap off the juniper tree, just be aware that it won't quite reach the ground, and you'll need to do about 10 to 12 feet of easy down climbing. I give this climb 5 stars for novelty. The tunnel really is the star of the show and makes this almost worth doing just by itself. I would say other highlights of this route include the crimp ladder at the end of pitch 2 and the pitch 3 mantle were also pretty notable. Overall rock quality was very good. The only thing that stood out was the hollow sounding block at bolt 5 on pitch 2. I would give that 4 out of 5 stars for rock quality. The first pitch is as protectable as you make it. There's placements anywhere you need them. Bolt spacing on the top 2 pitches are quite good, but if you're coming from a gym environment, it might be a little spooky on a couple of those bolts. 5 stars for protection. As for pucker factor, the only parts of the climb that I thought were spooky would be some of the slab on pitch 2 felt pretty exposed, and then pulling some of those thin face moves at the end of pitch 2 was pretty exciting as well. And then for pitch 3, the mantle isn't too bad. It doesn't feel too exposed because you have a belay ledge 20 or 30 feet below that kind of blocks a bit of the exposure. So I would give that 2 out of 5 stars. And then the descent was easy, all rappel, all bolted, no real cracks to eat your rope. Always a good habit to pull the rope so it flies away from cracks. So for pitch 1 rappel, just pull the rope to the right. So that would be 5 stars for descent. Overall, I'd give this climb a 4 out of 5 stars and definitely recommend it to others. I've only done a few multi-pitches in Sedona so far, so this scale might change every time, I'm not really sure, but for reference, I'd give Sedona Scenic Cruise 5 out of 5. I think the only thing holding this back from 5 stars is probably just the length and the fact that it's 3 pitches, but it's only like 210 feet, so you're kind of left with that super short third pitch. Overall, again, would still super recommend it to anybody. So that'll do it for this video. If you want to see more, definitely subscribe. I'd appreciate any feedback you're willing to give. If I went too light on certain details or too heavy, or just any feedback you want to leave would be much appreciated. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one.